Thank you for joining us for 4 steps to a consistent six-figure income. My name is Brendan Bartic, and I'm excited to be spending the next hour with all of you. This has been a journey to come to this point, as this is the launch of our new coaching program called Pulse. Productivity ultimately leads to success every day. So in Pulse, we have been testing this program over the last 2 years, and we're excited now to bring it to the entire nation and, of course, utilize it to help you grow your businesses and have great success. Whether you're here for that or not, we're going to talk about what's going on right now and the challenges we're facing. And after all of my research and going out to top mega agents across the country, top individual teams, buyer agents, what are they doing and what's the formula that they've been utilizing to make sure that they guarantee that they have fantastic success in this new market, or this ever-changing market is the best way of saying it. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to jump in. If you have questions, raise your hand or put them in the chat box. We'll do our best to address them. We have people from all over the country and all over the world here today. So feel free to post where you're from. A big part of our Pulse program is to build an amazing referral network because we know that Pulse agents like to work with Pulse agents. So without further ado, we are going to jump in and get this party started. So first thing we want to really dive into is understanding that everyone that I've interviewed all had a origin story. No one started off as a champion. Certain people had different families and things that they were in real estate, but every single person I talked to all started at a certain point that they then had to do several things to make sure that they were getting to this level of top producer. And the most exciting thing that I learned in all of this is everyone can do it. There is no magic pill. There is no magic DNA, if that's the better way of saying it. Everyone can do this. And it's just, if you're willing to just understand that, it comes down to a couple of simple tools, then having the cheat codes, the shortcuts, the top producer hacks, all of these powerful things that I feel like some of us just aren't getting access to, and that's why some win and some don't, and then making sure that we have a fun community to do that. So let's start off with understanding our mental mindset, because I do think that's critically important before we go into the 4 steps. So we all start with having the best intentions, right? Obviously, we wake up ready to fulfill our highest potential, right? I don't think anybody wakes up and goes, you know what? I'm really going to suck as hard as I possibly can today. Right? Like, I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to bomb it. It's going to be great. But what we know happens is, the reality is we lack clarity and often have no system or formula in place to make sure that we're delivering on our potential. Then we set our goals with every intention of achieving them. We're like, especially this time of year, right? You don't have to raise your hand, but I'll do this later. Everyone right now is either signing up for business planning clinic or just got done with their business planning clinic, all of this. But then as soon as we're done, we don't keep those goals visual. We don't keep all of those plans in front of us. And after week 2, 3, 4, they fade away. They just go away, and they became a dream, a hope that we wanted to have. Then, of course, we want success for ourselves, our business, and our families. But what do we do because we're real estate agents? We avoid accountability at the highest level, because accountability means that would be like having a real job with real consequences, with real stakes. And we're just like, you know what? I'm sometimes just playing the acting role of realtor, and I'm going to show up, how I feel. I'm going to do what I feel. And then we're disappointed when we don't get those results. Not to mention, we have massive amounts of chaotic distractions that are overwhelming us during this entire process. Then we attend training, receive bursts of motivation like you're doing today, and I'm proud of you. This is more than 90% of the agents do, right? Is at least you're coming and going, I'm going to take the next step. I'm going to jump in. Some of you have been with me for years and years and years, and you already are there, right? And walk away with a lot of great ideas, but then we don't walk away and act on those ideas. We go, you know what, man, I was on that podcast, or I listened to that. That's a really good idea. yeah, that was a good idea. Yeah. And then you go and do something else or nothing at all. And I know this because I'm in that club with you. I've suffered from this, especially early in my career. And so what we want to do is make sure that we understand that, first of all, you're not alone, right? 87% of all real estate agents fail because they're missing a system, model, or a plan to follow. That's just the facts. 76% of working Americans experience burnout in the last 12 months. So what I know is, and I'm super guilty of this, I would go as hard and as fast as humanly possible. Sell, call, and then burnout. And then I just would be like, I'm fried. I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I should just be a bartender or a dancer or whatever it is that's going to be easier than this. And I go through all of these stories that we tell ourselves on why we could be doing something else because we're burned out. Then what we also know, which is the craziest thing on earth, is only 3% of populations even set their goals. And another statistic that I found is, and you'll find this out here as we go on, out of that 3%, the 40% of the people that actually had success with their goals had them written in visual every single day, right? Now, 1% of those people who set goals wrote them down, so that's a challenge. And then only 6% of those who set goals achieved them. So this baffled me, and I go, why are so few people setting what they want to do and then actually accomplishing it? And we did a lot of research and we found out a lot, and that's how we came up with this formula of what all of the top agents are doing across the country. So what I'm going to need you to do, and I'm really going to need maximum participation here. You're going to get uncomfortable for about the next 10 minutes. And I mean, really uncomfortable. There's two things that are going to happen over the next 10 minutes. You're going to have a little devil on your shoulder that's going to start yelling in your ear, this is stupid and I don't need to do this. And you might listen to that one, and that's the bad one because it's a devil. And then you're going to have this angel on your shoulder that hopefully you listen to that goes, look, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go through this exercise, and then I'm going to see what I need to do next. So what I need you to pull out is a piece of pen and paper. If you are driving, please do not do this. If you're in the shower, I want to see you do this because it's got to be impressive. But if you are somewhere safe where you can please have pen and paper, we're going to go through an analysis here over the next 10 minutes, and I'm going to take you through this step by step. Now, this analysis is going to be critical because before we can figure out where we want to go, we have to know exactly where we're at right now. Okay? So we're going to go through this and then make sure you have clarity. And then I'm going to talk about exactly what needs to happen and what the pros are doing to get there. All right. So let's start out with question number 1. Now, you don't have to write the question. This is going to be on a scale of 1 to 10. I just want you to write the number 1, and then next to it, we're going to put a number. Do not put that number yet. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being weak, meaning, and I don't even like that word, 1 meaning you're not really doing it at all. You have no concept of what I'm talking about. You're not even in the ballpark. And 10 meaning you are ninja mastery level. In fact, you're so good at this that you're teaching it to others. Okay? That's what we want to talk about. Scale of 1 to 10. So first question, I am crystal clear on what I'm going to accomplish in the next 3 years in my career, with my money, with my health, and in my professional and personal relationships. Now, the word in there is crystal clear. 2 words, sorry. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 meaning you don't know what you're doing on Friday. And 10 meaning you can see it, taste it, visualize it in all of those categories. You know what your career is going to look like. You can close your eyes and be like, I'm going to be pop, 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 pop. You can clearly see your money and going, I have this net worth. I'm making this much in passive income, to the point where you can taste it, see it. You can see it in your bank account, the amount that's in there. Your health, everything that's important to you. And then of course, your personal relationships, right? So when I look at personal relationships, who are those 5 people that are helping me or I'm helping them get to where they need to go, right? Who are the people that I need to add, cut? All of that I have crystal clear. Am I still hanging out with my homies from back in the day, drinking 40s and not getting to where I need to go, right? Are you crystal clear? Okay. Now, on your piece of paper, you're going to write, and you need to do this clearly because you're going to have a total score. That's going to be a fantastic score that we're going to focus on. Question number 2, 1 being weak, 10 being strong. I have a powerful listing program that provides an exceptional seller experience, resulting in a 5-star review and a referral from every satisfied client. Now, we use the word listing program, meaning that if you went up right now against the top agents in the country, you would win that listing every time. You don't care. It could be Gary Keller sitting in front of that seller, and he's like, look, it's kind of, I'm on it's my name. And you would beat Gary, right? That's how good, if you're putting a 10 down, that program would be. You've got a defined process. You're constantly leaving with signatures. You are hot fire. 1 meaning you don't have a listing presentation at all or program. 10 meaning your ninja level mastery. All right, question number 3. I have a powerful buyer program that provides an exceptional buyer experience, resulting in a 5-star review and a referral from every satisfied client. Now, this is the one where I usually see people score themselves very high because they're like, buyers love me. They're just, anytime I work with a buyer, they just think I'm so great. Okay. That's not a buyer program. A buyer program produces a 5-star review, a referral, continued business, and you do it systematically, standardized every single time. That doesn't mean you don't have to do things uniquely for the client, but you have a process from the way that you meet them, to the way that you set up your showings, to the way that you structure everything, to your closing gift, all of that. 1, not so great. 10, mastery. Question number 4, I systematically build relationships with my clients using a series of touch points that make people feel special at scale. Produces referrals and clients for life. Oh. 1 meaning you're still using 3x5 cards with a marker and putting them in your pocket of all your clients, right? You're going, George Smith, met him on golf course, likes bourbon, need to call him tomorrow. 10, meaning you're leveraged, you're using a powerful CRM system. You've got artificial intelligence working. You've got text campaigns, email campaigns, newsletters, direct mail going out on a regular basis, client appreciation events that are set. What I call the beautiful orchestra of relationship management, right? It's a symphony. All of these pieces are playing together in harmony that end up in beautiful relationships and a boatload of money. Both are very fun and good to have. Okay. All right. Number 5, hanging in there with me, right? The devil's in your ear right now. Don't listen to him. I have a consistent schedule for outbound prospecting, networking, social media, and direct mail that produces new leads on a daily basis. Consistent schedule for outbound prospecting. Now, I've been doing this 20 some odd years. That one right there, outbound prospecting. First of all, some of us have a visceral feeling to that phrase and word. You're like, yeah, I don't do business that way. I don't outbound prospect, Brendan. I wait for my clients to call me and then I service them. Well, that's probably why you're having some challenges, is because in order for us to go and get business, whether it's people in your database or not, we have to lead gen and have powerful conversations with people about buying and selling real estate. Then networking. Now, if you're an introvert like me, and that sounds like the worst time of your life, you might not be as strong as you need to be in it, but are you circling around with people, or do you have a circle around you of people that are helping you complete that? Social media. Do I need to say more or less? If I don't know you exist on social media, then you probably don't exist on social media, unless we're not friends, of course. And then direct mail that produces new leads on a daily basis. Are you having people call in off of your direct mail system? You have a niche farm, you're crushing a condo building, you're crushing a neighborhood. When they go, I want to buy in XYZ neighborhood, they think of your beautiful name and face. Score of 1 to 10. Number 6, I have a high quality of life because I have mastered the art of leverage with the right people and technology. If anyone puts a 10 on here, then please, I want to meet with you individually and I want to find out what you're doing. I have a high quality of life because I have mastered the art of leverage with the right people and technology. One, you're just all over the place. 10, you've got assistants, cyber backers, ISAs, the right technology, all of these campaigns running. You're highly leveraged. Heck, you've got your kids at night licking stamps and making envelopes like Santa's workshop. Whatever you have to do, right? You are leveraged. You're not doing it all yourself. All right. Number 7, so scale of 1 to 10. 10 meaning ninja, 1 meaning got to work on it. Number 7, I know my critical numbers and I track them daily and weekly with visual scoreboards. Now, I want to be clear on this. I know my critical numbers. Now, often I'll teach in front of live audiences and I'll ask very simple questions. How many conversations about buying or selling real estate do you need to have to set one appointment? Oh, I don't know, about, and they make up a number. I love that. How many appointments do you need to have an actual signed agreement? I don't know, 4. Okay, and how do you know that? I don't know, just sounds about right. Fair enough. How many signed agreements do you have that converts into a closing? There's probably, I don't know, 1% of the population that I know that knows that number, that tracks their numbers on a high level. But here's the number that I'd ask you that I want you to write down to the side. How much do I make for every single conversation I have about buying or selling real estate, whether it goes good or bad? How much do you make for every conversation? That's the beautiful critical number that you want to fall in love with, that when you're tired and you're irritated and you're over this whole thing and you go, you know what? I get paid $600 for every conversation I have about buying or selling real estate. I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to make 3 more calls because I'd love to just make a quick 1,800. The challenge is it takes a little bit of skill and practice and training to get to 600, 900. I know agents that are $1,500 per conversation. We get stuck at the $5 a conversation round because we don't have a visual scoreboard that we're tracking to move us up. See, everything about tracking sounds like a negative. It's not. Everything about analyzing your data is all about improvement and motivation. Once you fall in love with your numbers, and I mean fall in love with them, then it just becomes a game every day. It just becomes this silly little game where you're going, you know what? I got to do this plus this. Yeah, it's not the most fun, but when I do it, I have more business, more clients. I can help my charities. I can help my families. I can stop flying coach like a peasant and have to sit next to, right? You don't have to do that anymore. You can start flying private. You can start doing all of these things if it's just a game. See, work sucks. Games are fun. And that's the difference between those that highly succeed and those that get exhausted and go, I just worked so hard today. One of the things that fascinates me is anytime you talk to any pro athlete, they don't get up and they go, I have to go to work today. What do they usually say? I've got training today. I've got to get ready for the next game. I've got to do all of these things so I can perform at the highest level. When they play for that 60 minutes, it was just a culmination of everything else. Our 60 minutes just happens to be a listing presentation or a buyer consultation. So imagine switching your paradigm in your mind to every day, just waking up and being excited, being like, just getting ready for the big game. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some push-ups, some sit-ups, maybe some squats. In our world, make a phone call, write a handwritten note card. It's not the worst. I mean, it could be a lot harder for us, right? We don't have to go get a brain injury by getting smashed by a 300-pound linebacker. We have to write a couple of notes of gratitude every day. Come on, to make a lot of money. Number 8, I have a community of like-minded people who hold me accountable to my goals on a daily and weekly basis. I have a community of like-minded people who hold me accountable to my goals. Now, Anytime I talk to agents all the time, they'll come up to me after events and they'll go, "Hey, Brendan, you know what? I'm just really struggling with accountability. Anything you'd recommend?" Anything you'd recommend. Now, in your mind right now, some of you are going, yeah, the first thing out of my mouth should be, yeah, stop being a lazy blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I think. I go, usually it comes down to two things. You don't have the right calendar and you're not in the right community. See, all of this, just like you see the best football teams right now winning because their community and their culture is at the highest level. The other players are holding them accountable. They're not letting all of this, individualism and sadness come over them. They're going, look, I need everyone to know what I'm doing and what I want to succeed at. And then it's nice to have cheerleaders, but it's also nice to have people going, look, you're kind of off track. What are you doing? Let's get into gear. That's the power of accountability. Number 9, we're almost there. So again, scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you're struggling with accountability, 10 means you're ninja level. Number 9, I have all of my systems documented and simplified to consistently produce the results I want. Okay. I have all my systems documented and simplified to consistently produce the results I want. Now, I'll be the first to raise my hand. I'm probably right now on my scorecard a 3 in this. Because if you're like me and so many others, we suffer from a couple of things. We have best ideas, best programs, best all of this. The challenge is we've got to get them simplified, and that's really hard to do, and then documented so we can start to get to that beautiful place of leverage. Instead of just going, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. If I do it myself, it's going to be faster, easier, better. Documentation is the first step of leverage because you cannot teach someone how to do something if you haven't had it documented. I mean, you can, it's just going to take twice as long and it'll be a lot harder, but you're going to have it all simplified. So you go, this is how I send out my mailing system every single month. Now I'm going to pay my wonderful, powerful friends, my cyber backer, my assistant, my whoever it is, to now take that on because I make so much money for every conversation I have about real estate. It's not a best use of my time to be doing the monthly mailer when I could be talking to clients making $600 per conversation. That's why we need to document. And then number 10, I have a process in place for receiving regular feedback from customers and employees, so I always know their level of satisfaction. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, I mean, I get a Zillow review every time I do a deal. Okay, I would challenge you to go, are you? Because when people say they're getting one for every, that usually means 70 to 50%, right? 50 to 70%, I said that backwards, sorry. So are you? And is that really overall feedback? But sure. And then the people that you're working around, do you have a system in place, right? Right now, one of the goals that I truly believe you need to be thinking about, that all the top agents are constantly thinking about, is if I was the number 1 reviewed in this category or in this area or in this group, Google is where people are starting their search to type in find an agent or buy a house. If I came up and was the most reviewed for that particular category, would I generate more business? Just like us, we want to go to sushi tonight. The first thing we do is, especially if we're in an area we're not familiar with, best sushi in Littleton. Reviews come up, things come up. We look at it. Now we look at 2 things. And this is the other piece that we've got to work on. We're going to talk about that too. We look at the restaurant. We look at the food. We look at it if it's got the picture menu or a fancy written menu. We look at the other pictures from other people that have joined into that place. We look at all of that and we make a decision based on that if we're going to go to one restaurant or the other. How is it any different in real estate? So are you acting like you are the number 1 in Google? And are you getting those reviews, those testimonials as such? All right, we're going to take your score. So add it up. For me, I need a calculator because I can't do math. That's why I'm in real estate. Add up your score. What is your score out of 100? You don't have to post this in the chat box. No need, unless you want to. Feel fine if you want to, but that's not what I'm asking. What I'm going to ask is, after you have your total score, Lori, no, Lori, you have room for opportunity, right? And Jorge, 48. No reason for a sad face, right? So much room. Vladimir, 72. Gotcha. So yeah, you guys, you don't have to post, but you're more than welcome to. I love it. And again, everybody's going to have a different number. Now, by show of hands, what I will ask, how many people scored a perfect 100? Woo! All right. Well, then we've got some work to do. That was my biggest fear. I was like, man, that could backfire. If somebody put 100, I'm in big trouble. So yeah, no one here is quite at 100 yet, right? And I need Jesus. I love that. That might be the best one I've seen lately. All right. So the first thing that professionals do is they do the assessment, right? If you go to a personal trainer, they're going to weigh you. They're going to do that little thing that tests how much fat's under your arm or wherever they do it. And I don't know, right? And they're going to give you an assessment and be like, wow, we've got some work to do, right? Then they're going to create a plan and say, let's go attack it. So when you go to Belize, you look good, or whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? They're going to have a plan in place for you to do that. Well, that's what we're doing here. And thank you very much for everyone. First of all, for all the people on video, I really appreciate it. It makes my experience a lot more enjoyable. But in addition, for all the chat sharing in the comment box. So now we have our score. So what we call this is the Pulse Business Vitality Checkup. All right. We've developed this over time, and we've had different versions, and it's definitely evolved. But when we talk to the very best of the best, this is what they were focused on. All right. So what I ask, and you'll see it in the chat box, there's a link. You want to download and print this. Now, I did this manually because, again, I didn't want to waste a lot of time, and not everyone's next to a printer. But you're going to want to download this, print it out, get your score on there, and then imagine the power of seeing that every day in your workstation, on your refrigerator, on your bathroom mirror, wherever it is that you want to make the biggest impact. And then what I'm going to teach you today is you're not going to attack all 10. Where the pros succeed is they focus in 12-week years, right? Everyone hopefully has read the book, 12-week year. They focus in 90-day increments to attack things and make progress on them. What we usually find, though, is all of us want to be, let's just take number 2, for example. All of us want to have a powerful listing program that we know would beat anyone on the planet. Not beat, yeah, that's a better word. I don't know, embarrass, right? That you would just dominate every listing appointment that you went on. You could walk in with such confidence that you were just like, this is going to be so fun. Then we leave and we go, all right, well, that sounds good, but how do I actually do that? And what is the secret sauce that I don't even know about? Now, some of you don't have the time to go research the top 1,000 agents in the country, right? We didn't only do people in our company. We went to everywhere. I'm just I have a weird passion for this subject. And what we found out is all of these top players have playbooks. They've created all of these things. I mean, one after another, and every coaching company that exists out there. There are cheat codes to this. There are ways to move faster, but then there's also accountability that you're getting there on a regular basis. And that's what we have to get to. So download that, make sure you get it up, figure out where your score is. Do not be offended by your score. Be excited that you know where you're at and you know what you need to work on. And you're one of the few that have made the decision to take it on instead of put your head in the sand and just go, boy, I sure hope interest rates drop so I can go back to that previous market where I just kept getting business from all this random stuff that was super easy. Yeah, those days are gone. That's not a business plan any longer. The new world of real estate professionals, it's going to be less of us, and those that are here are going to make a fortune because we're going to be skilled and trained in the art of this actual business. That's what I'm so excited for. Okay. All right. So how do we improve your score? That's a big piece of this. Woo, lots to do, okay? So first thing when we're thinking about this is step 1, we have to have absolute clarity. Now you heard question number 1. I find that whether it's business planning clinics, all of this, people sometimes will do a business plan, but not a life plan. Some people will plan for their money, but not for their health. Some people will make a bunch of money and then they get divorced, or they, whatever, something happens in their relationships, or they scream at their mother-in-law, or whatever it might be, right? We're trying to make sure we have clarity on what the next 3 years is going to look like. And we have multiple tools that we have to employ to do that. Now, it's not easy. It does take a little bit of time. But when you complete these series of exercises, and I wish it was just one. I wish I could just take you through today and be like, boo, here we go. And you're just going to be like, cool, I did this exercise. Now my life's better. Well, no. Because once we understand what you want, then we have to go deeper. Then we have to create visuals. And when I'm talking visuals, that's one of the biggest things we found out from not only science in itself, but every top real estate producer in the country, is everything they're accomplishing is visually in front of them. And then I think one of the bigger things is we've got to bring it to life every single week, right? Otherwise, you could have the best clarity. You could be like, in my mind, I know I'm going to sell 200 homes. I'm going to have a vacation home. I'm going to have my kids' college taken care of. I'm never going to fly coach again. It could be clear as you could see it in your mind. But if the weekly dots connecting it aren't getting you there, it's kind of pointless. So we've got to break it into small bite-sized chunks and then take it down. Number two, we know we have to act on what we call lead measures. So once we have the clarity, where we're challenged as real estate professionals is there's all of this chaos out there going, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and there's really only two things that are going to make the biggest difference in your overall real estate business. Now, how we get to these two, I'm going to talk about here in a moment, because you're going to need systems and tools and ways to get there. But it's very simple. We have to have conversations about buying and selling real estate. If you don't do that, it's really hard to be successful in this business. You've all heard that before. There's no shocker there. Where the shocker becomes, though, is a lot of us will have a lot of conversations, but we will not build or create or reinforce ambassadors. Ambassadors are people that know you, trust you, like you, love you, that if someone was talking about possibly selling their home in a restaurant, your ambassador would grab them by the shoulder, whip them around and say, you have got to talk to Dawn. Dawn is my gal. She is the legend. She will sell your house for the most money at the best, blah, blah, blah. That's an ambassador. So what we have to be working on a regular basis is knowing what those lead measures are. How many do I need of both to make my goal, my dreams a reality, right? Now, many of you have heard me say this, and maybe some of you haven't that are new here, but our only responsibility as a real estate professional is to make people feel special. The best agents from across the country, the people that have the most success and the best quality of life, understand if you make people feel special, they will throw the business at you. Our biggest challenge is doing it at scale. Some of us are really good at making people feel special for 6, 7, 8 people. Now, if you only make 6 or 7 people feel very special, you can only do so much amount of business. How do you make 250 people feel special at scale every single year? That's where leverage comes into play. That's where systems come into play. All right. So we've got to act on lead measures. Now, we have to understand definitions. Now, if you're going to join us in the Pulse Nation, which so many of you already have, which thank you, and we're going to have a lot of fun, right? Next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. If you're considering it, we're going to be focusing on a couple of things here. We have to understand definitions. And some of you might go, I don't like calling it an ambassador. I call it an A. It's one of my A's, or it's a MET, or it's a star, whatever. Get over it. It's just a name for somebody that really cares about you in your database. We use the word ambassador because we feel like this person should be a representative of our business wherever they go. Just like if I was in Switzerland, I'd be an ambassador of America if that's what I was. Okay. So the conversations have changed though. Now me, I came through a torturous world of Mike Ferry coaching where it was, all phone all the time, 40 contacts a day until my ears bled. And I made a lot of money and it was very lucrative. Now the game has changed where it's phone, text message, or through social media about buying or selling real estate, right? Any of those three could constitute as a conversation in this new world that we are all experiencing. Then ambassador, you already know it's someone that's built a real estate relationship with. Now, you could build a real estate relationship, but please read the last part. The only way to count somebody as an ambassador is if you have them on a 36 touch minimum a year program or more. Now, I get people all the time, they go, Brendan, I've got 200 people in my database. I go, how many people, if you let me go into your database, let me climb into your world, right? Let me come into your house and start going through your drawers. Do you really have them on 36 touches? Every single person in there, they're audited. You know when their birthday is. You've got personal touches set up. You've invited them to this. They're on 12 market reports. They're getting 12 direct mailers every month, like clockwork. And if I called that person right now and I said, Helena, if I called this person right now, I called one of your clients and I said, hey, who's your real estate agent of choice? If they don't spurt out immediately your name, they don't say, yeah, Helena's my real estate agent of choice, then they're not an ambassador. They're an inquiry or a lead or somebody that you forgot about in your database. So in Pulse, we're going to be focusing on conversations and ambassadors. These are the two lead measures. If you get these two right, you'll never have to worry about another thing in your entire real estate existence. How we get those conversations, because we all wake up going, you know what? I want to sell some houses today. I want to talk to some people. The challenge we have is who? And wouldn't it be also nice if they called us and reached out to us and we didn't have to always call them? We're going to talk about that. Okay. So clarity, lead measures, step 3 from all the professionals in the world and not only real estate, but everything. You have to celebrate your successes with visual scoreboards. Now, in our world, we do that with 2 powerful scoreboards, okay? We have what we call our weekly scoreboard, and this is probably, when people ask, Brendan, how are you making $950 for every conversation about real estate? Or Brendan, how did you sell so many homes? Or why does all this work? I always go back and I go, this was the single document that was the game changer for me. And I lost this for a while, I'll be honest with you, everyone out there. I kind of got sucked up into the tech. And I was like, tech. And if I can track my numbers here and pew, and all of this stuff, and they'll tell me the antiquated level of all. As soon as I realized, why things have slipped sometimes is if it's not visual and it's not right in front of me, then I don't know what I did yesterday. I don't know what I need to adjust today. And then I just let days fly by. Now, I think we all agree that we're going to have days that go sour, right? Something's going to blow up, right? This scoreboard is that constant reminder that goes, hey, hello, maybe you should go back to work today. And it's been 3 days that you've been doing nothing. Hello. Because that's the hardest challenge with us is we're independent contractors. There's no one. I wish sometimes I could come over to your house, kick your door, and just smack you and be like, "Are you going to come back to work? Like, is it time? Are you gonna get back at it?" I cannot do that, right? That's what this has to be, but you have to fall in love with it. Some people go, "Ew, ugh, job, ugh, career, ugh, work." No, freedom, leverage, legacy, philanthropy, all lives on this one piece of paper. So that little devil that's telling you don't need it, that little devil that's always sitting there being like, you'll be fine. Susie, you did 7 houses last year. That's enough. You made $64,000. You're fine. Yeah, keep listening to it. But if you want to make a change and you want to go to that elite level, this one page will help you. Okay. So now we know what our weekly numbers are, and we're going to focus on that. Now, we broke it into what we call the 7 vital signs. Conversations held, signed, closed volume, paid GCI, and ambassadors added. There could be 7 million categories on here, but Brendan, all my turtles out there, all my analyticals, right? But what about the lead sources? And what about this? And what about that? And should it be listings and buyers? And no, just chill. Over data will kill you. Over analytics will kill you. 7 vital signs that'll keep you having your business checked up vitality continuing to improve. Okay. All right. Now we have the weekly. Second powerful tool that we have to have. We have to have a daily scorecard, because if we don't have something in front of us every morning, we lie about our numbers at the end of the day, because we love to tell ourselves that we had 6 conversations. And then I go, and I've done this with agents, I go, name the 6 people, and can I call them right now? I go, oh, actually it was 2, and one of them was a text, right? And that's fine, we're human. But what imagine if you had this in front of you every day and you knew that your goal was 10 conversations, 5, 4, 3. Everybody's is different. We're going to talk about that. There is no set number. Depends on the size of your database. It depends on your conversion level. There's a lot of people in here that could make a fortune if they had 3 conversations a day. Some of us, though, are going to have 25, 30, because we don't have that luxury of either being that good or having that level of database. We will one day if we follow the steps, the formula. So we complete this, right? Rachel Rockstar, she crushed it. And then at the bottom, I added my daily totals to my weekly scoreboard. Ba-dow. And then I added them to my digital scoreboard. Now, in our Pulse program, we provide this amazing digital scoreboard that takes 2 seconds to upload your numbers. The reason digital is also helpful is because over the course of 30, 60, 90 days a year, it is fun to have all this antiquated data, because then you can really understand your business at a high level. And should you do this different? Should you move this different? What are the pain points that you're having? But just if you nail the daily and the weekly, I'm going to guarantee this. Your business will go up 50% guaranteed, period, end of story. If it doesn't, you can come kick in my door, slap me in the head. Right? I'll give you that option. I'll just ring the doorbell. It doesn't work because I work from here and I can't hear it. But anyway, you can come in some form or fashion, but it will improve everything. All right. Now, step 4, the final step, community. The top people have a community of accountability. So actions that impact lead measures, AKA we call them power plays. So in our community, we've taken, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but this is the Jason Abrams, Gary Keller playbook. Now, I'm not all pro Keller. I love Keller. I love all playbooks. So I went and took the top playbooks from all the companies. I reached out to all my homies and homiettes at every other company, and I took together the top plays that these professionals are using to have massive success. And we call those power plays. Now, a power play is something that you're going to learn on a weekly basis that's going to improve that scorecard. It's going to get you from a 4 to a 5 to a 6 to a 7 to an 8 to a 9 until we're all living in that 90%, right? I want to have a big smiley face next to that 90% on your scorecard being like, we did it. But we have to accomplish this in little bite-sized pieces and complete power plays. I hate to say this, homework, right? Tasks to improve our business. Then we're going to gamify that. So it would be boring just to have to do that. If I said, all right, class, every time, no. Then we're going to make games. We're going to make it fun. So we've got contests. We've got programs. We've got crazy, amazing prizes to make this beast of taking down real estate one bite at a time that much easier. And then we're going to have a fun community where so many of us have already built referral partners and people across the country and networking and all of these things. Right? So we'll have cheerleaders and we'll also have accountability, not to say, just cheerleading, but people supporting us in this community. All right. So that's the big piece that I think a lot of us, some of us might even get step 1, step 2, maybe we're okay with step 3. I found it very rare that step 4 comes to life unless you are in a very strong community and you have that. All right. So to start us off, I want to give you an example of what a power play would be like. Okay, no, will not be like, how you can actually win. So with a power play, this week's is very simple. And some of this stuff you're going to be like, this is probably one of the most simple power plays we'll ever have just because of the time allotted today. But in our sessions, you want to get into the act of doing something, because if I just said, hey, do the vitality checkup, about 20% of you would do it. We usually see a 20% of the rock stars that step up. Now, if I say do it and you can have the chance to win amazing prizes, it might get you to take that extra minute and print it out, right? So the Pulse Power Play, join the Power Agent Facebook group. That's that little barcode above. Complete your business vitality checkup, right? Complete the checkup. Now you'll notice on the checkup, it doesn't have a name on it, but when you're going to be posting this, of course, it's going to be coming from you. So many other people were already proud of their number. There's nothing to be embarrassed about here. If one person has a 65 and one person has an 82, who cares? The first part about growing up is being accountable to where we're at right now and knowing that we're going to make the improvements needed for our life and that others are probably having the same problems we are. So complete the vitality, take a photo of it. Just take a photo. You can do it with yourself in it. You don't have to have you in it, whatever. I've seen everybody kind of take that on their own aspect. And then you're going to post it in our Facebook group, hashtag Pulse Power Play, and you're entered to win this month's prize, which happens to be an amazing experience at our family reunion. Now, if you are not Keller Williams, do not get worried about this. You can sell this ticket probably for a lot more than this because this whole thing sells out. Now, again, we're not trying to get you to Keller. We are agnostic to all of this with everyone here. I do want to say that at all times. It's just that Keller Williams is giving me this package to offer to you, right? So that I can have these amazing prizes to be able to offer, because we're going to explain here in a second, we wanted to make sure the affordability of this program is at such a place that we could offer it to everyone and make sure that it was a powerful piece of your business. So $850, you're going to get front row seating, exclusive lounge access. You'll be in Vegas with me. I'm sure you win this, I will come out and have a blast with you. I don't know if you want that or not, but it'll be a good time. So that's the contest. Now, every month we'll have different contests. Sometimes there'll be cash prizes. Sometimes there'll be certain things that you might need in your business. We've done Tony Robbins events. We've done all kinds of things. We're just making this fun and everybody has a chance. All right. So ways to win. In our program, all you have to do is post your weekly scoreboard in the Power Agent Facebook group. That's this scoreboard right here. That earns you a point. If you complete the power play, that gets you another point. Boop, 2 points. If you do both all 4 weeks in the month, you get what we call our 10x point pulsifier. You get the 10x pulse pulsifier when you've done all 8 activities. And first of all, regardless of the prize, just the pride of knowing that I was not going to swear, you are awesome. You are a bad mama jamma. And that you're going to make so much money from just doing those 2 things, incremental improvement of your systems and tracking your data and having that scoreboard in front of you on a weekly basis. You will thank me. I promise you, it'll change everything about your business. Okay. And it's not that I believe in it. It's that not only that I've used it, so many others have used it and have had great success in the same system. So then we're going to celebrate with the Pulse community, right? So these are some samples of our Pulse Power Plays right over here. You've got the 10-year achievement letter. People are getting contracts signed. People are out door knocking. Don't worry. You're not going to have to go door knock necessarily, but there might be some power plays that involve some outbound energy at times. Because we go through, and I'm going to take you through this just for a second. What we go through is what we call the core model. And I'd like you to write this down, okay? In Pulse, we focus on 6 key components of your business. Number 1 is commitments. So in commitment lives mindset, business planning, calendar, rhythm, vision boards, anything that you could think about that's going to go, if I can see it, I can do it, I can believe it. But there's things that we have to extract out of you to get clarity. Number 2, sellers. I mean, that's why it's number 2. You got to know what you want. And then we know sellers and listings are going to get us there. And if you've been watching the news, which I know all of you have, it's going to be a lot better to be a listing agent. Well, it's always been better. Let's be honest. Better is not the right word. It's been easier and more lucrative when you know how to do it to be a listing agent than a buyer's agent. So sellers is next. Number 3 is buyers. We're going to develop the most elite techniques to make your buying program, your system that you're using for buyers, all of that work at a higher level. The next one, relationship management. Ooh. Relationship management is tough. Remember, we've got to make people feel special at scale. So we're going to work on your automation of your systems. We're going to help you create these powerful things. And it's not all automation, right? It's going to be, how can you grow your ambassadors And I want you to write this number down. Every 6 ambassadors equals 1 closed sale or 1 referral. I've tested that against all the top performers in the country. I've analyzed databases 1,000,000 times over. For every 6 ambassadors you have, remember, they have to be know you, trust you, love you, on 36 touches or more a year in your database, you produce 1 deal a year or 1 referral. So if you're looking at this and going, I need to close 12 deals, 12 times 6, that's how many ambassadors you need to have. If you want to do no new business, right? Or no, not to say no new business, internet business or expireds, right? You want to close 24, 24 times 6. That's how many ambassadors you need to have. So once you do a true audit in your system with those characteristics I just said, how many do you have now? I call them up and I say, hey, I was just doing a random call. Who's your real estate agent of choice? They don't say your name in 2 seconds. Then they're just an inquiry or a lead in your database. And that's okay. That's better than nothing. We're going to get them an ambassador. We're going to make them ambassadors whether they like it or not. That's what we're going to do. All right. So the next, lead generation. If you don't have a lot of people in your database that you can make ambassadors, we got to create leads and a lead funnel to get your bucket filled up so that we can start loving on these people so ambassadors become a part of your daily existence. And then the last one, and my favorite word in all of the planet, leverage. We're going to take you through what the top agents are leveling up with artificial intelligence. We're going to talk about how to do all of the top things to make sure that you can work less, make more, or what I prefer, work smarter, not harder. I wake up every day thinking about what can I do today to get more leverage. Some of us are still waking up every day going, how can I work a little bit harder to make more money? Okay, so that's what we're going to be tackling as we move forward. All right, now, everything is just a formula, power agent formula. Clarity, lead measures, celebrate in a community. That's how we produce that massive success. Can't just have one of them or 2 of them. We're going to need all 4. Anna, take me through a little bit. So what else is involved in this new world that we're heading into? What do we get?
Well, new world, old world, we've been doing pulse coaching for a couple of years now. And when we originally developed the program, we wanted to make sure that it was robust, that there were things that people could do on a daily, weekly basis that were tactical and actionable. So every week we come together for 60 minutes of live coaching. It's not recorded. It's not prepped. It's Brendan Bartic live coaching for 60 minutes. And that session is backed by a replay and resource vault. So we get it that sometimes the kiddo gets sick or you've got a listing appointment and you can't make one of our pulse sessions. That's why we make sure that we have an entire resource vault to back it so you know exactly what to do so you can continue to participate in the monthly contest and participate in the Pulse Power Play of the week, along with, like I said, true tactical things. So we're giving away our mailer templates, our text templates, our email templates, our flow charts, and not just ours, but from all the playbooks that Brendan has collected over the years of all the top producer plays so that we know we're delivering on the things that you can do today in today's market to be the most exceptional real estate agent. So that's kind of what's in the program, along with really amazing community. Not only do we celebrate each other, but we hold each other accountable, right? We want to see other people succeed. So at some point, Brendan was like, you have to stop putting bullet points on this slide. There's just too much for the audience. So I tried to condense it down, but really it's one thing for Brendan and I to talk about Pulse coaching. It's another thing to hear from Pulse Power agents that are already in the program. So if you're interested in learning more about what it means to be a Pulse Power agent, or you're curious about the program, take it from some of the people. And these are certainly just a few of the testimonials we've received, but we're happy to connect you with any of the current Pulse Power agents so that you can hear it from them, what it's done for their business. These particular testimonials have doubled, tripled, or quadrupled their business in less than a year of being in our program. And we're super excited. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of these agents in the Pulse program and all the success they've seen so far in the dedication of their business.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Yeah. And so anyway, you get it. I hope you get it. If you don't, here's something that I want to kind of frame out is, now this program has helped us build, and we are, right, the #1 real estate organization in the state of Colorado. And so we've been featured on all of these things. And I don't say it to impress you, I say it to impress upon you that with the right model, you can have a lot of things change. That's what it is. Now, I don't know a better way to say it, but what I will tell you is, I'll tell you a story. And I thought this would be hilarious because, first of all, the year was 2003. And yes, that is a picture of me back in 2003. And so again, I had my GED, I was making $8 an hour. I was a real estate assistant to a top producer in beautiful Naples, Florida. Now, I made no money. I didn't have any money. So I was going to TJ Maxx, that tie and suit that you see there. I believe I purchased all 3 of those things at TJ Maxx. And yes, I did enjoy Axe body spray at a high level during that time. I think it's right when it came out. And it was pretty exciting because we didn't have, before that it was Cool Water. And for my people that know what Cool Water is out there, you know how effective that was. But the reason I tell this story is, one of the challenges that I found is when I came into real estate, I saw all of these successful agents, and they all had coaches. They were paying $1,500, $2,500 a month. And I was like, I cannot do that. I just was not in a financial position. So I was constantly doing showings, doing open houses for other agents, doing anything I could to save up that first amount of money for me to have the opportunity to get a coach, because there was 3 agents in my office that were making, I would say at that time, 50 times more than every other agent in that office. And all of them had a professional coach and program that they were attached to. Not all were the same program. They were getting it from different sources, but they were in a program. So one of the things that I have a passion for, and the reason that I think Pulse became so important to me, is I go, not everybody can afford that. Not everybody can get to that point, and not everybody has those resources. So if we could make this at a point that brought massive value with everything that we've learned from every top coach, then we could really make an impact. And I hope everyone understands that that's what we're so excited about with this entire program. So $99 a month, that is the number that we were able to get this to bring this amount of value to every single person. Now, I still said, Anna, Gary, all these people, that's not enough. I go, I'm so confident in this program because I know the people's lives that it's already changed. If you get involved in this program, if you're involved for 90 days and it hasn't made a major impact in your real estate business, money back, give you all your money back, no problem. Now, there's 2 caveats that come along with that, because again, if you come into the program and do absolutely nothing, then it's not going to work for you. So with that money back guarantee, all you have to do is attend 10 out of the 12 sessions over those 90 days. So you can miss 2 and get sick, whatever. And then you have to complete the power plays for those 10 sessions with the weekly scoreboard. If you just do those items and you don't think that your business has gone massively improved, all your money is refunded back to you, no harm done. And I wish you the best. And we appreciate the feedback on what went sideways. So there's no risk. And I think if you decide that you want to take that next step, we're going to be doing this every Tuesday at 10 to 11. Now, the other question I've got is, will there be other times coming out? Yes, there will. As we get this first session underway, we'll have other times and sessions. But for right now, you might have to move something in your life to be a part of it. And so every Tuesday at 10 Mountain Standard Time. So again, that's noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. We're going to dive into this, and we're going to take your business to the next level. So the only question left to really think about is, are you in? Are you excited to go and get into this next level of your business? And all you have to do to join us for this first one is do that first power play. Sign up. I believe the code is in the chat box here. And if you don't, I completely understand. No worries. Join us for all of our free webinars. We'll be having free webinars every month. We also have our YouTube channel, which is probably how a lot of you came here. So Brendan Bartic, Real Estate Coaching YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, take action, right? If it wasn't for when I was back in Naples, Florida, making that money, I went to this one class, and it was not a class, it was a coaching seminar in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It was $599 to go to that class. I drove from Naples, I rode with 2 other agents. If I would have never gone to that class, I don't know if I would have still even be in real estate, because when I was in that room and I saw the power of what these people were doing and the community that they had, I went back and immediately did a lot more open houses for other people. I was cleaning people's offices. I would do whatever it took so that I could raise enough money to get into that coaching program. I got into that coaching program. I was 23, I think 24. I went from being whatever last place was in Coldwell Banker. So I became the number 32 agent in all of Coldwell Banker in the state of Florida. Now, if you don't know how many agents are in Florida, it's a boatload. I was doing that by the time I was 26. So these things matter, formulas matter, coaches matter. Our goal was to bring it at an affordable price so everyone can get to the level that they want to be. Thank you for spending this hour and 2 minutes with us. If there's anything we can do to improve your business, let us know. And I hope I get to see everyone next Tuesday at 10 o'clock.